Do-do-do. Rockin' solo. Josh is currently out because he's doing their like Laravel wrapped, unwrapped, Laravel wrapped, unwrapped. I don't know. But we got Kris Puckett coming on here in a little bit. But for just a little while, it's going to be just me. Just me. That's going to be wild. I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to need somebody to show up and chat and start talking to me. Otherwise, I'm going to go crazy. Or I'm just going to start working on something. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I will start working on a coding project. What up? What up, man? I love your Rudolph situation with your profile pic. Fantastic. Also, Josh is probably going to be mad that I didn't do the intro. But I was already running a little behind, so I figured we'll just skip it today. All right, I'm about to pull up my my screen here. What are you working on today? What am I working on? Hopefully I'm working on an interview. And not really an interview, but I got a guest. His name is Kris Puckett. He is a designer. He was a designer at Shopify. But he is built like an entire iPhone app, knowing nothing about code, just using Claude Code, as well as a number of other things. So he's coming to hang out today with me, and then I'm going to put this up here while I wait for him to show up. And we can just do this. This is what we can do in the meantime. Whoa. Ah! I'm so tall. All right, so did you see the thoughtless CAD? I did. That was insane. I like how I'm like very familiar with like Fusion 360 and SolidWorks and that kind of stuff. I've done a lot of 3D modeling in my time. And I liked what is there? I mean, I'm sure all of them kind of have that, but I've not ever worked on CAD that way where it had all three plane, like it had the 3D plane, then it had like all the different axes. Is that like a Blender thing? That feels like it'd be like a Blender thing. But where did you get did Gemini just come up with that on its own, or did you tell them to put all the different 2D planes visible? That's what I want to know. All right. So, just for anyone who's here hanging out, I am working on. Yeah, it was more common back in the day. I actually got the idea from something called PicoCAD. Ooh, built it for the Pico 8 Fantasy. Oh, okay. Pico 8's pretty dope. I've got a coworker who built like a whole Pico 8 game. And I always thought it was fun. It's really cool getting to do like video games that have like artificial constraints. Like theoretically, yeah, you can do just about anything, but man, we love some good artificial constraints. All right, so this is I'm like deep into this, and it is not currently like a it is not in like a visible state currently, but just to I think I'm sharing my whole screen, so I'm gonna bring this down. Do, 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 do. This is That might help if I npm run dev so we can actually do this. What I can show you is this. I wonder if this will capture the screen audio or not. Is this not working yet? Reloading. Cool. All right. Yeah, there we go. All right. So I did this. So this is something that I built to kind of model like what it's like to work with envelopes with synthesizers and just like music in general, is how this works. But like if you can you hear that? Is my system audio working where if I play that you're like you actually hear it? Tell me if you hear this. Do you hear that? No, can't hear anything but me. Boom. All right, so let me restart this then. We're going to stop screen sharing and we're going to try this again. Very quiet. Oh wait, there it was, but it's very quiet. Gotcha. All right. I wonder if turning oh, maybe it was coming through my mic. So, let me do a couple things. Be right back. All right, step 1, put in the headphones. Step 2, stop sharing screen, and then we're going to restart it. Because I have to turn this toggle on. Boom, there we go. All right, now we're going to throw this up. And we're going to do this again, and you're going to be able to hear it this time. Can you hear that? I'm not sure if that's like very loud or not, but perfect. All right, so yes, this is a demonstration for like how envelopes work. And then I add this thing where it does chords if I hold the shift button down. But we can go to like, so this is more of like a bass noise. And then different types of chords. So anyway, I built this like a little miniature keyboard just so I could play some of this stuff and be able to show like what different envelopes kind of look like. So I'm gonna pick just this noise. Actually, let's see what this. All right, we're gonna go with this one. So envelopes consist of basically like 3 or 4 key pieces. The first is the attack. The attack is like how long it takes for the sound to get to maximum volume. So if we make it very long, you can hear how it like ramps up. You see how like kind of goes it like before it gets to full volume. And then if you bring this down real low, it's like immediately full volume. That's what attack is. Decay, this little thing right here, this dotted bar, is called sustain, which means like if I hold down, it stays at whatever volume. So if I bring it all the way up, full volume. If I bring it really low, it like goes down really quiet. So the decay is how fast does it go from full volume to this volume here. And you can stretch this out really far to where kind of hear it fade down. So that's decay. And then the last piece is the release. And that is like how long does it take to go from whatever the sustained volume is to nothing. It also like how long does it take when you release the key to go from whatever. So like let's say your attack is 35 milliseconds and all you do is tap the key. This is going to be like, how long does it take from whatever volume it is. So this was interesting because this is what I was like using to submit my CFP for React Miami. So I submitted like a talk to React Miami, and this was like part of what I sent in as my CFP to say like, hey, this is the type of stuff that will be part of my conference talk, which my conference talk is on using the web audio API, hence the very musical and musically oriented project. But now what I'm working on, and I'm just going to check and see if Kris has showed up yet, which he has not, which is not a problem. He said he'd kind of probably be here around 2:45 Eastern, so probably get here before too long. In the meantime, what I have been working on is trying to make a like a actual like DAW editor instead of just like a little tool. I want to build like a full on like editor for music to where I can like add notes and have them on like tracks up above and have each note have like a different instrument type. So that is what I am currently attempting to work on. And right now I have set up kind of like my base library of things, and now I'm trying to just get it into a like state where I can make noise like I have with the other stuff. But this one's like requires a lot more like data structures in place, because we're not just tracking like what sound should I make when I press this button, because there's like tracks over like a long period of time and tracks that overlay, etc., just like if you were making music in like a real editor. So how's your coding been changing with the cursor? Letting I do more and more, or do you still find yourself writing a lot? I do. Let me see. I do like a bit of so I'm like in the phase where I'm like letting AI generate a lot at the moment. The way that I work is I have like a lot of conversations. So for example, let me just bring this down here. So in Claude, I have set up this like project called Web Audio DAW, and these are like all my chats with it, and some of them are like extremely long, where it is like, all right, go into this whole process of, oh, let's see what we got here. Kris is here. I'm going to let Kris in. What up, Kris? How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Why did that echo?
I don't know, but it didn't this time. Oh, wait, I know why it did. Okay, so the reason it echoed was I was sharing my screen, and I had it set because I was showing off some like audio stuff, so that they could hear it. I had to you have to like turn on system audio, and if you turn on system audio, if you have like a guest or somebody else on the chat as well, then they can hear.
Got it. Okay.
So
Better.
while you were not here, I was riffing on some of the projects that I've been working on.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry, I'm late.
Dude,
Thank
don't
you.
even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Happy Friday, everybody. This is Riff and Refine. Josh is not here today because Josh is feeling a bit under the weather. Plus, he had some like other actually work related live stream that he had to handle before this, and then he said he wasn't feeling good and would like to be able to nap. And since this is not work, I said absolutely. So this Friday, I have with me Kris Puckett, and Kris is awesome, because Kris has over the past year been building this like extremely cool iPhone app, knowing nothing about code, using only AI. And seeing that, I immediately thought, I think he'd fit. He fit the vibe here. Seems to be somebody who likes to build. That's what we do. That's the type of people we like to talk to. And I want to talk a little bit about what you've been doing, but most of the show is just kind of like, hey, what have you been up to? What are things you're interested in? And if something's interesting, let's just like dive into that and like riff on
Sweet.
it and see what we're
Yeah.
thinking. So, to start things out, I want to ask you, Kris, what have you been up to this last week?
Yeah, it's been a wild week. I have been rebuilding pieces of the app. So thanks for that piece. So Epilogue is
What's the name of it, by the way, for the people in chat?
yeah, it's called Epilogue, and it's an
Mhm.
ambient reading companion. So it's for physical book readers, kind of bridge the gap between the physical and the digital so that you can kind of record your notes, quotes, thoughts, comments, highlights easily
Yeah.
and have it stored, and then also ask questions and have kind of the power of these LLMs
Ooh, yes, yes,
and
yes,
deepen
yes.
your reading experience. But one of the things that I built it for me, and I started in July, and I like have quickly realized as people have been downloading and using it that I'm not a typical book reader. Like I don't
Mm,
just people read very differently. And so a lot of the feature set
hmm.
just isn't like working for them. So I've been
Oh, interesting.
rebuilding what I call my ambient mode. So that's like the LLM powered experience to be much
Mhm.
more like helpful for people that want to read fiction books but don't need to ask tons of questions about them. And
Right, right.
they're reading like I don't know some dragon romance fantasy thing
Yes,
called The Fourth
yes, and they're
Wing, and
like,
they don't.
I don't really need to know like what they did up in the
Yeah,
tower.
yeah, exactly. They're not asking like, so how can I make it better? So this last week, I've been like doing that. And the thing that makes Epilogue really fun and has been interesting is that as a designer, I intentionally chose not to use Figma to create the app. So I did everything in Claude Code to see
Like
how
even the
far
design, like all the design.
all of it. So everything you see in
Okay.
Epilogue is entirely done through words, through prompting.
Yeah.
And like that was intentional to see like how far I could push it.
Mhm.
And now I've come to a point where I'm like, I love Figma. I love Figma very much. I just feel like I don't know why I would go into Figma at all to design anymore. Because
Mm.
it's
Mhm.
so much faster for me just to dictate than it is to uh, jump in and do static screens. So
So interesting.
yeah,
Okay, I want to dig into that.
yeah,
Um, however, just to quickly move on with the format of the show before I dig into that, for the last week I have been working on this audio this audio project. So if you have not seen Kris, I am building a like online DAW, like a web-based a DAW is like another word for like a music editor. Like if you see
yeah,
like a DJ or like music producers and they've got like it's kind of like a video thing where it's got the tracks and like the
yeah. I
waveforms
saw
and like
it. It's cool.
synthesizers. Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm building that. I don't know why. I just decided I wanted to. Like I thought it would be super fun to do. I thought it would I thought it would be like a really interesting way to explore like I did some conference talks last year that were like exploring this concept of like generative design that I really like. And I used as part of it, I built like a generative video game. Um,
It's
and
wild.
it was super fun. But that introduced me to like the web audio API because I used recording people's voice as like the way to generate the levels for the game. And like I was just like the more I learned about it, the more I realized like, oh dang, there is like so much power in the web audio API. So I was like, I've got to do something where I build some demos using it and do some conference talks on it. So that's what I've been doing. And that is like,
It's amazing.
it's been super fun. I've always been super into music, but I've not ever committed to like learning it. And like as of Black Friday, I've like officially got my first like MIDI
Ooh.
keyboard controller, and now I'm like going down this path of like, should I learn how to play piano? Like I've by memory like watched the YouTube videos where it has like the keys, like the things come down, and I had a keyboard in like college, and I would like learn songs just because I wanted to learn how to play them, but I wasn't actually learning how to play the piano. I was just like
Yeah.
memorizing keys to press. So I'm like, I don't know. I think it's super fun. I'm like, this is like mixing. That's like the type of stuff I like. I love doing things that mix completely new mediums. And this is like, I get to do web dev. I get to do really interesting design with this, because it's like, if there is any place that people are still allowed to do like super fun design, it's like these like audio plugins. So it's been like super fun researching all that. And then like now I'm bringing in like actual music theory and like playing instruments and stuff. So I'm looking forward to 2026. So
yeah, dude, can't wait to see what you build.
That's what I've been up to. However, I want to dig into something you just said, which was, you said like, why would I jump into Figma when I can use my words? And I struggle with that. I'd be very curious with like I want to know what your process is with that. Because like I'm a design engineer. I've been very good at coding design. Like I've designed in code for quite a long time. But I've never been able to I guess I've just never tried. There's this like barrier that I have that's like, and maybe that's it. Is there like a skill to learning how to describe design? Because I've always been like, how can I describe something in such detail as like what design, like some UI design is? Because it's not like sweeping, like add a button that's green or whatever. Like it's like, no, I have like very specific colors and like very specific things I want done. I don't know, like what's the process there? Like what have you learned trying to
it's actually
design using words?
halfway through building Epilogue. So I started in July and was kind of like working on it just nights and weekends. Like wife called it my second job, which was true. And what I did halfway through, so I used the Claude.ai. It's like the Mac app because you can connect to like file systems and stuff, and you can't do that with the web app. And then I would use Claude Code in Terminal as my two like pieces. I guess I'm using Claude Code and Cursor, to be honest. So not the model in the chat. I'm actually just using Cursor as the terminal, which I don't know why I do that. But like halfway through, I asked Claude Code and the web app, because they both have memory features. Is my sound coming? Is it okay?
Oh, you're good. I just turned on like there's like some reduced background noise, and I think that's
okay. I'm
will...
trying out a mic for the first time, and I don't know if it's like working.
No,
so
it sounds good now that I turned. There's just like a setting that I turned on. I think you're good.
So awesome. Thanks, Thoughtless Labs. So what I do is, memory was turned on for both of those. I had it analyze our entire chat history within my project of Epilogue on the web app or the Mac app, and then also in Claude Code. And I asked it to synthesize like, what is my process? Because I feel a little scattered sometimes. And so like I asked it to give me like kind of a concise view of like how I've been working with it. Because what I started doing, and I still do frequently, even though it chews up context, is I will screenshot the output in the iOS simulator, and then I will paste it into Claude Code and give it design feedback. Like one thing I think it's helped me over the last couple of years, like I've been a design manager for a handful of years. And so there's a lot more like
lots of crit.
A lot of crit. And a lot of, so I'm very like, you know, you're just like comfortable with like the design direction that way. And I think for like so long, I always felt like the designs lived in my head, but I could never like get it out there the way I wanted to,
Yeah,
even
that's how I
in
feel.
Figma. But what I've found that most people, it sounds so stupid, is that you actually don't need specific things to start with. What you need is what you like for this ambient mode feature. Like, I really
Mhm,
want a reading timeline. I want to create like a set of tools that helps people like read,
mm.
like
Okay,
challenge
okay,
themselves to
okay.
like this.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
want it to feel like this. And I want it to like make the user like end goal, blah blah blah. So I give it like very high level direction, and then I see the output, and then I start critiquing the feedback from there. And I think where
Mm,
people get
mhm,
hung up is they feel like they need to have the perfect prompt to start, because what
mhm.
so many people I think in this space are trying to do is they really want to one shot everything. Like, I just want to like say the thing once and then it's like it's perfect, and like that's just not how it goes. Like, you need a lot
Right,
of
right.
iteration. um and so to answer your question, you don't need specific pieces of feedback to start the
Mhm.
process. You'll start refining it as it goes, and that will enable you to like get more of the fidelity you want. And then, if that helps, I'm not sure that helps at
No,
all.
it does, it does. I already got follow-up questions. So,
Yeah. All
all
right.
right, here's my follow-up question. Do you feel like I guess it's like, you're on a personal like, this is a personal-ish project. Do you feel like taking that approach reduces the breadth of exploration that you might do visually? Or do you feel the exact opposite?
I don't. That's a good question. I think if you were to look at my cursor or my Claude code and files, like all the chats, I think at this point I'm close to like 120 individual chats, but with like hundreds of layers of compaction in a lot of them.
Mhm,
And I
mhm.
think that I might have iterated faster in Figma with just broad strokes of like, this is general
Sure,
layout and
sure.
stuff. I actually think I got to the vision in my head faster and not needing
Mhm.
to go through like, oh, let's like see if the navigation looks like this. Let's see that, because I could play with it and feel it and be like, oh, this is way wrong. Let's start over.
Right.
Um,
Oh,
and
nice. Okay, yeah, yeah, that's kinda what I was getting at, which was like, um, I feel like if when I've asked things of AI, it's like, "Okay, here are the inputs that you need. I'm just gonna throw those on the screen."
mm,
And so, like, you're now in like, depending on the type of skill level I think you are at as a design thinker or creative thinker, you see those inputs and your mind immediately goes to, "How can I fix what I'm seeing?" versus, like, "How can I rethink those inputs?" Like, I guess I would like, for instance, like, "Oh, I need these 4 number values." And so it just gives you like 4 number inputs or whatever is what it does, but, like, maybe for the design, I actually want that to be like a slider or, like some more creative, less utilitarian. Like, what is your like,
yeah.
have you caught yourself designing when you're, like, designing just with AI, caught yourself, like, kind of, like, falling into, like, a pattern because that's what AI gave you when you asked for this feature? Or how often do you find yourself saying like, "Okay, now that I've got a idea for, like, what it takes to make it work, here's how I'm going to rethink it and explain it."
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the fundamental piece is that I view AI as like a different level of collaborator. And so it's not like I'm not just pulling a lever and expecting the perfect
Mm, mhm,
output. I think what I've
mhm.
discovered is like what it's doing is it's giving me like this ball of clay, and it's kind of formed, and I'm going to reshape it with it. And so sometimes like what comes out, it's like, wow, that's actually better than I expected. Let's iterate on that. Other times
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is garbage. This is the like the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I've sent to Claude itself like, are you kidding me? Like, are you stupid? Like, I hate being that guy, but it's like, this is terrible. Like, I'm so
Right,
frustrated
right,
right
right.
now. Um,
Oh,
but I
I
think
I
that
think it actually works. I really do, and
it does help.
not because, like, you're going I don't think it's, like, from, like, a, "Yeah, you should, like, curse out your AI," but just from,
Yeah.
like, if you actually legitimately express frustration, like, I do think models can, like, factor that in to be like, well, that was very outside of what their expectation is, versus you just being
Yeah.
like, no, that's not right. They like
Right.
they have some kind of like scale for like how bad was that output based
Yeah,
on
if you
your response.
show if you've got thinking turned on and you like drop it down to see the thinking, it'll tell you like, oh, user's extremely upset.
Oh,
And like
really?
I
I've
need
not
to
ever done that. Yeah,
remember
yeah.
this, this, and this, and it adds it to the memory file.
Dude, that's
So
great.
yeah, it
Abuse the
does do that. I
model.
think,
Get out of here, Jeff.
yeah, come on, man. I don't think I've been above that. I probably never like cursed it out, but I have been like
No, definitely
I've
like
said things
hammer
like
on
I'm
it.
literally pulling my hair out. Like, why am I paying you right now? Like maybe I should go use Codex. And it like I felt bad about it. The point though that is
It's
like
so
from your
funny how
question,
human psychology works.
yeah, isn't it? You're like,
Yeah.
I really care about people, so now I've cared about this model.
Mhm.
It's a co-collaborator, it's like a co-conspirator in like the thing that I'm creating. And if I feel more open to that, I feel like the outputs have actually been more surprising of like what it can do. There's been a lot
Mhm.
of times where it's just like nowhere near the level of polish or quality that I want. And like let's be very clear, like if anyone downloads Epilogue, which I hope you do, please give me feedback. But my goal would be like you download Epilogue and you would not have known that it's AI coded, like entirely done through words and prompting. Like level
I
of
mean,
polish would
absolutely not.
be
Yeah.
um it's not perfect. Like I would love to win a design award for it. I think I need to like do a lot
Is
more
any
work to
app
do that.
perfect? Like
Yeah, I mean the goal, right,
like
is
no
like
matter no matter how good you are, like unless this is like your 8th app, anybody building their first app, whether they like are doing it with AI or themselves, like it is a process, a iterative process of like refining and finding rough edges. And like I think what you said most was like it didn't matter how good your implementation was. Like you put out a really good app, and
no.
I don't think there were necessarily like bugs. That's not what people were coming to you about. They were coming to you about like, oh, like how I read, how I handle this is not what you have encoded in the experience. Not, oh, hey, like this is broken. I mean, I'm sure you might have had like a few bugs, of course, here and there, but like the big things have not been like, hey, this whole thing's broken. It's, hey, this isn't the like my expectation for how I read, like you said.
Yeah,
And
I've been
that's
really
like
grateful with
you're
the
gonna iterate
feedback.
on that regardless.
Yeah. Yeah, the feedback has been overwhelmingly like positive, like the DMs and stuff I get about it, and then mostly like feature requests that like things I missed. Like I had like a legendary designer who like I'm not gonna like name, but they reached out and were like, I wish that your book recommendation engine was smarter. And I have one, like I have the more books you add, you can go to like an add new book and it would suggest, but
Mm,
it's based off
mhm,
of your reading, but it's
mhm.
not like it was kind of just like half thought through. And so that prompted me to like, all right, I've rebuilt it and it's gonna ship next week
That's like one of my
where
favorite things about AI. Keep going,
it's
but
just
I wanna
done.
dig
Well,
into
no, I
that.
mean, it allows me to do like, and this is one thing about the co-conspirator thing. I wanted it to be like more conversational, but not like I think conversational UI is never going to go away at this point, but I think it'll be much more like multimodal and it's like
Correct.
faster inputs and be more adaptive. But I wanted it to like, okay, I'm going to select a couple of prompts of like what books I want, and then it's going to spit out 5 recommendations like that are really tailored to me. And it did that, but it added something that I didn't expect, which was a little shopping cart icon next to the book because the books are not in your library. This is a
Right.
physical book reading app. And so then it added like an
It's able to
icon for
link
a
you
shopping
for
cart to like
yeah.
to link to Amazon. But that prompted me then. I was like, oh, I love that. I didn't think of that. Now what I wanted to do is like make it so that I can choose which bookstore I buy from online because not everyone wants to support Amazon. Some people want to like the heroes of the book
Right.
industry right now are Barnes and Noble. Like if you gone to Barnes and Noble, dude, it's the best. Like, oh my, it
Dude,
feels so
I
good.
love a book. I love
It
walking
just
into a bookstore,
it's so
getting a
good.
coffee, and just like just like going up and legit smelling the books. Like
Yeah,
books
just
smell so good. Books smell so
browsing
good.
it and
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
man, yeah. So I've changed it so that you
Legit
can
a
like,
cover shop. As a designer,
oh,
100% cover
perfect.
shopper for sure.
Are you? And that's what, yeah. I mean, that was a thing with Epilogue too is that you can change your book covers, and I'm also working on a feature where you can upload your own custom book covers if you wanted. So like
Oh,
to
that's
make your
fun.
library feel more like
You
your,
like
your
cohesive?
own,
Yeah.
yeah, more unique. And so the challenge with that though is my entire like gradient background system is extracted from the book covers that you get from Google Books API. And I don't think
Mhm.
it'll be that hard to like refactor that, but that's the thing with doing this last 6 months is like I've increased my Swift developer knowledge by like 1,000,000% of like, oh, okay, now I know what like color cube is and like
I
what
was
to
gonna
do
ask
and how
you.
it's pretty wild. Anyway, I feel like I'm talking a lot about me. This feels
You
weird.
are, you are, but it's because I'm asking you about you. So
Yeah,
good job. You're good at answering questions. No,
thank you.
no, I wanted to dig into this because like I'm just gonna be fine. I'm gonna pick the one question that I like really wanted to ask you about, and we can ignore all the rest of them because we could riff all day. But then we can get into like things that you're interested in, etc. And I will share some as well. Here's what I want to know. Before you built this, if I remember correctly, you had like it almost felt like there was like a different type of mental model you had about the world, um, or about
Yeah.
creativity or about your work, even though it's like hilarious because like you have run a conference, one of like the most popular design conferences. Like I remember just getting into design out of college, and Epicurrents was a thing at the time and being like, "Oh man, can you imagine one day getting to go
Mm.
and hang out with all those cool people that are there?" And I was like, 20 or like 21 at the time or something, just getting out of like industrial design, getting into like web design. And I was like, "Man, that would be the dream." And so I'm like, you're like up here. And so it's really
Mm.
funny like hearing you talk kind of like a year ago about like some of the struggles that you had. Um and then I just remember like observing you tackle this project and feeling like there's been a shift. And I want to hear, like, am I misreading that? Because it is the internet. I could be completely off base on like my assumption about that. But I just want to like, what's been like going on from before this project through this project? Like, did it give you something, or change something in like your perspective on creativity and stuff?
Yeah, so great. Wow, thank you for asking that. And like, yeah, hopefully Dan and I'll do another because Dan Petty is the founder of Epicurrents, and I just
Hmm.
like lucky to be like co-host, janitor, uh, all the things with him. Um, I think like over the years, I have felt really lucky to like be friends with a lot of these people, like great designers that I look up to, and like it's because of Epicurrents. And but I never felt like I was creating great work like on my own. I feel like I was creating like
Mm-hmm.
good work at other companies, or I was like doing the thing that you're supposed to do. But I think internally it always felt like I'm not at like a level I want to be at. And then uh I think part of that was like I had always wanted to like design and build my own software, but I couldn't code. And I tried, and I don't know if it's like my
Mm-hmm.
brain is broken or I'm like not that intelligent. But it just never stuck. Like I worked for Treehouse as a product designer,
Mm-hmm.
and even like using their platform, I'm like, I can't, this is not working for me. Like I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. And so I just kind of always put that to the side. And then to answer your question, yes, like this process of building Epilogue has been fundamentally like transformative for me. I realize that I have been even in companies that I've been doing like well at, I've been waiting for permission, like waiting for like I don't know if it's like from a boss or from like a mentor or someone to like go do the thing, go build what's in your head. And these tools have given me like have cut all the reasons to not do what I want to do. And so I have been toying with this idea of like a permissionless builder framework, which like I do not want to
Mm-hmm.
be a thought leader, I do not want to be a course boy. I am like very like that's not my jam.
Yes,
But
yes,
I
yes.
do feel like I'm not that special, and I'm sure other people have this as well of like what are you waiting for at this point in time? Like the question really isn't like can you build the thing? It's like why aren't you starting yet? Because these tools enable you to experiment and explore and create so rapidly. And like who cares what freaking these some of these engineers are hating on the vibe coded apps, and it's become like
Ugh,
this weird dirty term, and you're like it doesn't matter, man.
hate
Like
it
I'm
so
doing the
much.
thing. Like you and I think most engineers are pretty stoked about it, are stoked about designers who are like learning and getting into it. But building this
Some
app,
aren't, like you said.
what's that?
I said some are, some aren't, like you said.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that yeah, they'll come around because it's like it's not
They
going
have
anywhere
to. They
now.
don't have a choice. Yeah.
Um, I think building Epilogue has given me this like new mental model of if the things and the tools that I'm using aren't working for me, I can just build my own that work for me. And I don't have to sell them to anybody. Like I built this coaching system using Claude Code and Craft MCP where I literally just brain dump everything I need to do into it and all of my thoughts, and it processes all of it, puts it in the documents into Craft, and then creates like daily briefings for me. And then also will track patterns, health metrics, and like, but it sounds very complex. And it like the initial setup, like I was iterating, but now I just literally talk to it. It formats everything for me, pulls the information I need to know,
Do you use
adjusts
like
my
a
calendar.
audio, like a local audio model or whatever?
Yeah, I use Monologue.
Oh
If
yeah, from
you,
Every.
yeah, that is
It's good.
honestly like I have no affiliate. Like, but if anyone is trying to get into AI, paying the $200 a year is it sounds like a lot of money. It is worth every penny for their content and then also
Mhm.
the tools that you get. Like I think right now, if I like look at my Monologue, I'm seven. I don't know how many people use this app, but in the last 30 days, I've had 56,000 words, typing 122 words a minute. I'm like the top 2% of users of this app. Like,
Dang.
all I do
I
is
need to do
like,
I need to do that.
it's freaking rad.
I'm such a yapper. Like, I
Yeah,
yap so much,
yeah,
and I
I am
love
too.
talking, but here
Just,
but I picked a career where all I do is type.
that's why,
Like,
yeah, that's, you got to get into this because it just works
dude,
everywhere.
I need
It's,
to,
dude,
absolutely need to.
it's the best. I think there's some like free ones like Mac Whisper and stuff I've tried. They don't like, or not, I guess it's
Nah, we're
not
gonna
free,
get the
but
good stuff. We're gonna get the
yeah,
good
do
stuff.
you check out Monologue? I love it.
I've been wanting to. I
Anyway,
love their branding, and if there's anything that I am is if the branding and the story is good behind the company, then I'm all about their product.
100%. I appreciate your question. I think it. I'm trying to like. I mean, candidly, I'm trying to like get this as a pitch for a few conferences. So
Yes,
if anyone's listening and like it resonates, please let me know because I'm trying to
it does.
get
It
the
100%
mindset of like
does.
just kind of the core question of like, what are you waiting for at this point to build? And it's been like
Mhm.
in my head. I feel like you and I have similar, maybe similar shared faith backgrounds, but there's
We
an
do.
author named Parker Palmer, and
I've not heard of him. I'm gonna look it up.
he has a book called Let Your Life Speak, and it's about
Mhm.
vocation and calling, which can mean a lot of different things. But he has this
Yep.
question that he asked in the book, and ever since I read this question, like 12 years ago, 11 years
Mhm.
ago, it rocked my world, and I think about it all the time. And it's is the life you're living the life that wants to be lived in you? And like these tools now are also enabling like that, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
if you're
yeah.
out there and you're like, man, I wish I could build my own software. It's like you literally can. You just have
You
to ask.
can.
You don't need
Yeah.
to have like a perfect prompt. You can just say, I want to make an app. I don't know how to start. Here's what I want to do. And the system will generate like, markdown files and complex thoughts. And then you can start iterating off of that. Like it's wild what one question will do at this point.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I love that question. So, um, I've talked about it a few times on the show before, but that is like that happened to me within the last year and a half myself. I've always been a builder and a maker. Like I just build things, I just make things. I've never had the permission issue, like the permissionless issue. Um, my wife makes a joke that she's like, "You have like overwhelming confidence that is not deserved. Like you're
Huh.
just confident about
Unearned.
everything." Yeah, like you're just confident about everything. Like you'll start doing something and you'll be like, "Yeah, I'm going to do so good at this." And like you have no reason to believe you should, but you're just like the cockiest like person about anything that you're like, "Yeah, I'm going to do that." And you just do it. You just go and you do it. And I'm like, "I do." And like that is just like something that is like part of my nature. And that is like what I love that, but what I struggled with was like, where do I point it? Um, and like I've pointed it into like corner after corner after corner that like led nowhere.
Mm,
Um, and over the last year and a half, I've I've kind of like zeroed in on like that question, what you said, and I've never heard that question before, and I love that because I think it
mm.
helps me like think this through, which was like, um, I started talking at conferences last year.
Yeah, dude.
And
Big
the year
moves.
before, yeah, the year before that, it was like, "Hey, I'm gonna stop being silent and just an observer on the internet. I'm going to just start when I see somebody cool, I'm gonna say, 'Hey, I think you're cool.' Like, 'Hey, your work is cool.' And I want to try and like show stuff that if I tell someone they're cool, that they look at my stuff and say, 'Hey, he's cool too.'" Um, And so like that was my plan, was just starting to do that. And last year when I did to the conferences, something clicked. I was so scared. I was like absolutely mortified. Like I've always thought, man, I'm not a public speaker, like zero
Mm.
chance. And then I got on the stage and like you prepare for your talk, you do it, and like afterwards, it like people would come up and talk to me, and it was very much what you were talking about, which is like you are so scared to become like a thought leader. Um, but it was honestly like the people coming up after me and were like, "Hey, what you said really resonated." Where it's like, okay, maybe people are scared to be like grift leaders, like whatever the terminology that like people are worried about. I think it's like when it comes from like a disingenuous place.
Mm.
But I think people are looking for like someone to resonate with.
Mm.
Like I think people are looking for someone who is a step ahead of where they're at, or is like over the hill of something that they want to do with their life, to be able to look back over their shoulder and like tell them like, hey, you can make it over the hill too. Um, and I think that's like what you're doing, and like what you want to do with like your example of like, I'm a designer. I've always wanted to just build my own stuff, but I've been so like not confident in my ability to do that, and everything changed the last year. And it's not like a and here buy my course on like how to do how to do it kind of thing, but it's just like you just want to talk about it. Like you
Oh.
feel so good about like what it did for your life that like you just want to tell people about it. And like that's the
Mm.
same thing that happened with me, where it's just like, yeah, like my life and my career changed because of ambitious projects that I take on, that I like have no
Mm.
reason to believe I could do them, but I just do them and then I share it with people. And like so like what I want to share with people is like, if you just put your work out there and things you're interested in, you make new friends, which is like the most important part. Like number
Oh.
1, you build relationships. Like as a nice second thing, like generally speaking, your career is a lot broader and has a lot more possibilities when you share things that you know and things that you're working on. And like you just get like unique opportunities, like your surface area for luck expands when you do this
Mm-hmm.
type of stuff. But it's just like that's like the story that I told. Um, and you mentioned our like shared faith. And one thing that I've always struggled with was like, man, I love design and I love building things so much. But like, how does building like fit with my faith? Like,
Mm.
how do I fit that passion that I have into like the part of my life that is like my faith, and sharing that with others? And like, I felt like I found that puzzle piece last year, where it's like, hey, when you build things that are worth talking about, that people want to hear about, you get a chance to be someone who is like an influence on them. So suddenly, like the way you talk about your work, the way you talk about other people, the way you talk about your family, and the way you can mention your faith,
Mm.
without trying to like without trying to like Bible beat people or like preach at them, like
Yeah.
you become somebody who is like an example in ways that that like you now get a chance to live your faith in how you interact publicly and in front of other people. And I was like, this is the missing, like what you said, like that's the life that I wanted to live. That was the life that I was like was looking to live through me, is like, let's build cool things, let's go talk about them. And if people want to like learn more about that and are watching me, and because of that they see, why is he just seeming to be like so happy all the time? Yeah, like why does he always talk positively, and like where does that come from? And that leads them to like wanting to know more about that stuff. Then like fingers crossed, that's what happens. But it was just
Yeah.
like 100%, 100%. Like that's my like the same thing over the last little bit.
Hmm.
Absolutely,
Yeah. I love
absolutely,
that.
Billy.
Love that, man. Thanks for sharing.
But yeah, so now on to the rest of the show. What have you brought for me today? Do you have some links? Do you have anything of interest? What are you looking at lately that is
Oh,
like, I mean, if you don't have anything,
yeah.
think about it
So
for a second, and I'm going to share
yeah, you
share
sure.
a couple things. So, the first thing that I'm going to share is have have any of y'all heard of Andrew Huang?
Not that.
Because I've been, as mentioned, I've been getting into music a lot lately. Um, and Andrew Huang is, this is not going to show audio, which is good because I don't want everything to echo like crazy. But this is Andrew. This is Andrew Huang, and he has this series um, called Four Producers, One Song, and this is like the coolest. This is like the coolest concept ever, having watched this. If y'all, even if you aren't interested in music, if you're just like a creative individual, I think you will love this. Because like the way that this works, he has like a whole series of these. And like this one is like one song. This one's like four producers, one sample. It's like the same concept, same format. But basically what he does is he finds like other music professionals, producers, they get the exact same little song sample, this clip, and then their job throughout the rest of it is to create a whole song. I'm not sure, I don't remember if there's like a time limit on how long their song has to be. And then they just like do basically like a vlog style video of like, hey, here's how I'm thinking about this. Here's like how I would clip this little part. Here's the little plugins and tools that I would use, how I'm adding this effect to it, etc. And like I want that with like designers or developers. I think that'd be so cool. Is like, all right, here's like I want everybody to make like this type of UI element. You have like a couple days, and then we'll do like a breakdown of like your creative process. Like I love these like behind the scenes process type videos. So this is my thing that I've like loved lately, is like this little behind the scenes miniature reality TV show for like music producers where it's like, hey, here's like me actually doing something and how I do it. um it's very similar to um why Newsroom, the television show, is like one of my favorite shows of all time, is because it's like very much the same, where you're getting this like behind the scenes look on like what it's like in a newsroom, obviously like very dramatically like themed a lot more than it probably is in like a usual newsroom. But like I don't know, like super big fan of just those like what's behind the scenes on how different processes and how different like creative practices work, especially
See,
when it's done in a way that's really good like this.
yeah, I love that. I mean, I love these type of videos, especially like some of the like craftsmen, Japanese woodworkers, or like
Oh
there's
my,
a few channels, but there's
yes,
another one from
yes,
a
yes,
music
yes.
standpoint that I love watching every once in a while when I have time. Is It's like the Drumeo. Or is it called Drumeo? I think it is. It's like,
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah.
dude,
Is it the one where they get the drummer and they're like,
yeah,
"Have you ever heard this song before?"
right.
No.
And then they have
They
them
like
replicate
clip the
it.
drums out of it,
Uh-huh.
and they have to play. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I love
I
that
love that kind of stuff.
because I love it. Yeah, you just get to see like the level of skill and craftsmanship and like fundamentals and just how people break down problems. It's like so different than how my brain would work, and it's really cool. Um, yeah, I love that. Here, I'll share a link because I think we both mutually shared this of like this
Yeah.
illustration blew my mind.
Oh, is this the one that was like the red and blue one?
Yeah,
Okay. Yes, I'm pulling this up for everybody to see.
fundamentally don't understand
How, like,
how.
why it works. Yes, I tried to like take a deeper look into it to be like, why is this working? But I've followed this guy for forever because just his work in general. So if y'all do not follow this account and you are in any way, shape, or form interested in creativity, like this is this is the guy. Such a different look, this one has that same effect too, but let me find this one. It's just a picture, but it feels like the red is 3D, like it is popping. And I know it is just some weird visual color and size thing. Like when they say like when you like look, it makes it feel like the lines are bending, but they're all the same shape or whatever. But yeah, some weird visual trick that I don't understand, but it just breaks my brain looking at it. It's so good.
Yeah, it makes me like the level of skill to like think through that and like make it so that like universally people are looking at that being like, what the heck am I looking at? Like, how is this
Mhm.
popping off of a 2D screen like panel in a way like is unbelievable.
I've not gone to his site before, and now I'm just like, I want to see all of his stuff. It's
Wait,
so
well,
funny.
is my audio, does this suck? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It's not like grainy or anything.
No, 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 no. It sounds
Oh,
good.
I'm getting like a weird static feedback, but like I haven't used this mic in 7 years. And I was like, oh,
LOL. That might
I'll
be
try
why.
it out. Like, see, try to be more professional.
Oh man, this guy's work is so cool.
What else have I been digging?
Or like things that you're interested in. So like one thing that I would be curious about is one thing I'm curious about is like, do you have other app ideas that you're like, now that I've built this one, this is like the type of stuff I want to be working on? Like I would love to build like I feel like with every person who's built an iPhone app, they build one and then they build like seven. Like now
Yeah.
that I've broken the seal, or maybe it's like because I'm paying for like Apple developer every year, like I might as well. Do you have any more like brainchilds?
Yeah, I've got a handful. I will It's so tough because so what I want to do on the side, I'll stop this. I have been in the process at a few companies, like interviewing a few companies that are going to be more like AI native stuff because it's like what I'm deeply care about and see like the
Right,
future of the world going to. And like, I feel like I've kind of
dude, ride the wave.
doing the thing,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and, and then if on the side, over the next few years, probably try to like build a business out of it. And so just kind of seeing like where that goes. But app idea is I built this system using Claude Code and Craft, which is a doc
Okay,
like
I
Notion.
was gonna ask about that if you didn't bring
Yeah.
it up again. What is craft,
No.
by the way?
So Craft is like it's like Notion, but I think better designed. I think it just looks beautiful. It's a much smaller team, and the focus on writing, I think, is just like better experience in general for like
Mhm.
long form writing. Whereas like Notion just feels very much like a knowledge management tool. Craft is a lot more flexible. The problem that I have is that I'm a pen and paper person. All my ideas are scattered. I live very much in my head. I'm very verbal. None of these tools work for me because I have to like create a system to then use. And I don't think that way. And so what I did was like, I had a counseling session and my therapist and I were talking about like, man, I just feel like my brain's broken sometimes, like tangentially. And she was like, oh, let's dig into that. Like you're creative, blah, blah, blah. And she kind of joked of like, well, you don't have ADHD, but it does feel like that. And I think it's like a lot of creative brains just have that like vibe. So I
I'll let
went
my
to,
wife know next time she calls me ADHD for leaving
yeah,
cabinet doors open. I'm
yeah,
just a
that's
creative
perfect.
brain, babe.
I'm just creative. It's
My
just like,
buddy's therapist said so.
yeah, you picked me. This is your
Yeah.
fault.
Yes,
Uh,
1,000,000%.
so I went to Claude and I was like, here's how I think, here's how I work, like disparate notebooks and cards and pen and paper. And I also want it to be digital. So I need a hybrid system and I need you to help me think
Mm,
through like what I
mhm,
need.
mhm.
And it did, and it helped make the system. I used the Craft MCP, which they just came out with, which allows me to brain dump into Claude Code
And
all
it
of my
just goes
thoughts.
and makes everything for you.
Yeah. And it creates, I mean, I
That's
can share
awesome.
my screen if you
I
want.
say, please do. Do they have like a mobile app or whatever?
Craft does. This system will
That's always my thing. Is like
not.
if I put like whatever system I make, I've always been like, yeah, I could build my own system, but then I don't have a mobile app for it. Like some way to
Yeah.
on my phone, because as like a parent, a lot of I have like a lot of free time.
Here,
Yeah,
let's get
man.
rid of this.
This is like
Whatever, I
what
don't
real
care.
builders desktops look like,
Yeah,
everybody.
dude,
That's
it's
what it
all
looks
over the
like when you're
place.
actually doing stuff.
All right. Does this look okay? Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's
I have 4 documents. I'm a Lord of the Rings guy. You can see behind me. So I named my system after
Lord of the
pieces of Lord of
Rings.
the Rings. I've got this daily briefings feature, which I actually
Mm-hmm.
met with the Craft like co-founder yesterday and was kind of walking through the system. And then he was like, "Oh, you should use this thing called collections." And I was like, "This actually solves a big problem I had of organization."
Mm-hmm.
So each day, like I'll share my health metrics and then kind of what is going on with like the days, and then if I
Mm-hmm.
did the things I need to be doing. Um, and then I haven't created my briefing for the day yet because I've just been so busy. But like
Mm-hmm.
yesterday's briefing, uh, it gives me some quotes that I like, gives me like kind of motivational pieces. I really have tailored the language to not be like AI sycophantic like cliches, but still has some
Right, right,
work.
right. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
And then
that's
I've
so
just
funny.
got like it pulls from my giant to-do list of things that need to happen so that I can write it down on my
Mm-hmm.
cards. And then at the end of the day, I'll like do an evening debrief and like kind of I'm not gonna let
I've
you
got a
all read
question
all
about
of
your
it, but
cards. Are
it
they
does
these
this like
cards?
it keeps it there, and then I can also put stuff in this like long road journey, which like allows me
Mm-hmm.
to create patterns. And I've got writing that I'm just trying to do, and
Yeah.
but everything's done through this like filter here. And
So sick. I
uh
really need to get on the Claude Code train.
whoa, look at this infinite screen. All right, let me stop sharing my screen.
All right.
Um,
Are these the cards that you use when
heck
you're doing?
yeah, Ugmonk baby.
Dude, love Ugmont. So
I
good.
have the bound one, so I could take it with me. But
Yes. Okay.
I need to get
I've got a little travel case, and then I got um being I've got their like travel journal with
nice.
like the dotted paper. I
Yeah,
love the binding to where you can like take the paper out and restock
yeah,
it. So it's like
that's
if I
nice.
fill things up, I can like put them in storage somewhere
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like keep the binder, not have to
I
like buy
know
new ones. Oh,
I've been
love
a
it.
moleskin guy, so I've got like,
Dude,
I don't know,
I've got
13,
at least
14s.
13 of them just
Yeah,
sitting in a closet
yeah.
and like old stuff.
But
Yeah.
I'm thinking of switching to like this. I feel like I'm being incepted online with these like Japanese notebooks. And so I'm like, oh, maybe I'll try like switching it
Dude,
up once, but
I've been hearing all
we'll
of them.
see. Um, what what do you have? What do you have to, because I
All
have to
right.
leave in a
I
minute, but
That's fine. I also have to leave. So I have this thing, as everybody on the show knows. It's called Family Friday. And on Family Friday, my wife's a kindergarten teacher, and we have a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And the 6 and 3-year-old are at the school that my wife teaches at.
oh, that's so
And
fun.
then our 2-year-old is with my mother-in-law who lives in town. And normal days, my wife takes the two oldest to school with her, and I drop off the youngest. And then at the end of the day, same thing. I go pick up the youngest, and she just comes home with the older ones. But on Fridays, we have Family Friday. Um, my mother-in-law with our youngest does what is called a mix, where she teaches him a letter every week to go through the alphabet, and then they make a dessert using that letter on Friday. And so on Fridays, we all drive in the same car, and I drop everyone off at school and then drop him off. And then at the end of
Hmm.
the day, I go pick them up, and we go get the dessert from the mother, like together. And we're like, "What did you make today, buddy?" And
Aw,
he, like excitedly, like runs over and like mush mouths some word that like is like not even close to like what it was. But it's really fun, and we do it every Friday. So that's always my like fun reminder. I'm like, it's getting close if I'm going to be on time to pick everybody up. So
that's
we're all
amazing.
good. The thing I have two things before we leave, and if you need to leave suddenly, just say
Yeah,
I
it's
gotta
fine.
go. Bye.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but the two things that I have are one, um, I think that for next year, if this is not already on your radar, I don't know why that's suddenly gotten blurry. There we go. If this is not on your radar, once you will have had like a full year of your app being in the app store and having users use it, if you don't do a epilogue wrapped at the end of the year to give people some kind of like summary on their like reading for the year, that needs to be on your radar, because I'm downloading epilogue because I'm a huge reader. But I do all mine on like Kindle and stuff. But
I know it's
I need somewhere to just like put like, hey, I read this book. and have more like AI, be able to do more AI stuff with it. So like whether or not I'm actually like taking notes or doing that stuff, like I just want some form of place to log all this stuff because I don't know, like I want what your whoever the designer that told you is like, I need a better book recommendation engine to like
Yeah.
help me. I read so much, I run out of like finding things that are good in Amazon's default suggestion algorithm. And I'm like, I probably need to bring some AI into this.
Can you see my screen right now with epilogue on it?
I can see. Do you want me to pop it up, or you do not want
Yeah.
me to?
Yeah. Go ahead. Let's do it.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay. This is just quick because you mentioned it. So, two things. One, the book recommendation engine is live in my new ambient mode. So it's like, what should I read next? And then you can like, I want to read fiction, quick read, be challenged. And then it will kind of like spit up some options, and then you can keep chatting back and forth of like refining it more and more. And then one of the fun things about experimenting quickly is you can, so this is so early because I'm not like anywhere close, like just structurally thinking through what like a wrapped would be. But yes, next year there will be a wrapped epilogue thing, and it will be very refined. I'm also working on like a welcome back card for people that are like inconsistent readers. So I've been trying out like, you know, different like ways of like, oh, here's your streak.
This is what I want to see. This like, I did not know that you could get away with doing this. Like I've never built an app before, but that is like my default mode for how I build everything.
Yeah.
Is like, I have like, which is like what you see with this. You can, all right, I'm gonna pop mine up. I'm gonna remove yours. Like that's what this whole side tab is.
Heck yeah. I mean, because you gotta experiment, you know?
Yes. Like sliders, I love it. I love it so much. That's like my default way. So I love that. I've thought about this a lot of going to physical books just because, not because I like reading physical books more, but because I want my kids to see me reading. Like I read all the time, like literally all the time. And I don't want them to be like, Daddy's always on his phone. Like, I'm not, I'm reading a book. They're like, no, you're not. You're on your phone.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
We don't understand. But like, yeah, they don't understand. Just get a book. At least like, I'm probably just gonna like start buying the physical copies and still doing, because it's so convenient to have the book on your phone. I can't just carry a book around with me everywhere. But when I'm
I think you can. I think you can. You gotta just embrace the man bag.
Okay, I can't. Oh, I do. Okay, so I do have a backpack that I sometimes carry.
You just got to do it, man, because like it also changes your
brain to carry out in public. I don't have cool books.
You've got the look already, bro. You look like you read physical books.
And I just want to have a giant bookshelf behind me full of like all the books I've read that my kids can pull from too. That's like another thing that I'm like, I want the physical library aspect of it, so kids can wander in and like explore, because that was such a huge part of my childhood. My mom dropped me off at libraries all the time, and that was just what I did.
Dude, thanks for having me on.
Dude, it was so great having you.
Yeah, hopefully anybody that watches.
You have anything coming up for the holidays? You got some family rest coming up?
No, we're going to my in-laws in Michigan, so it's always a great time. Like I love my in-laws. It's just it's a lot. 2 kids, travel. It's like it's a whole thing. So yeah, prepping for that. Going to like a friend's having a 40th in New Orleans next weekend, so we're flying out for that. So like this month feels like real tight.
Yeah. If you're traveling twice with small children, it is like real tight. Well, it was awesome having you on the show today, Kris.
Thank you. Yeah,
loved getting to find some time for you to jump on, and I can't wait, because you're probably going to be ending up back on the show at some point. Now that you've got this new building, like builder type person. We love repeat guests. So
let's do it. I appreciate it. I appreciate the questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Let me know what you think about epilogue. I'll do any features. I'll figure it out.
Duly noted. All right.
Man. Thanks,
y'all. Have a wonderful day and a happy weekend, everybody.
Yeah, have a good one. Bye.